flow sick. Man, I been high, I swear to God who the dopest. Hopeless, what I used to be, now I'm moving packs to that potent pressure. If love is a drug, I need extra. I don't look to people, look to the one who poured and don't even measure. Killing beats give me pleasure. Please call the medic.
No, I have to weigh in on, if I get through to Sunday, I have to weigh in again. So hopefully I get through. Yeah, so it's 2 days. So weigh in Saturday morning and then fight. And then if I get through, weigh in Sunday morning again and then fight. So hopefully go out Sunday night, celebrate, have a drink and eat. I hired a nutrition coach. So I've been with him for this is my 5th week with him. So yeah, checking in with him this weekend to see like what we're going to do next week in terms of food and like trying to cut down the weight that last little bit, and then what I'm going to do in between the 2 days as well. 100%. Like I know I could probably like wing it myself, but I need someone else to keep me accountable for that kind of stuff. So yeah, he's been really good and super helpful and really, really knowledgeable as well. So that's been awesome. I'm glad I invested the money into it for sure. Made it easier. I guess it's hard. Like things have sort of been coming up and then falling through and coming up and then falling through. And I guess like the main thing is I just love training. So like I'm not training necessarily because I want to get a fight. I'm training because I love coming to the gym. Like it's a non-negotiable for me. It's just every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I come and I do advanced classes and I do my extras and that's it. So it's not been hard to keep up motivation just because I purely like actually just love training, which is awesome. And then yeah, just like knowing that eventually something will come up, and also I guess like the more I train, the better I'm going to be when I get my first fight. So I'm like, I've got all this extra training behind me, maybe compared to someone who's just come into it and got a fight straight away. I'm excited. I feel like I'm going to get nervous next week, or when I get there maybe, but I'm excited for now. I'm good. Ready to go.
Yeah, I can never doubt myself, I know better. All of you critics be acting like you know better. Blowing the smoke, but I know when the dust settles that I'm in my element. It's evident that there's levels to the game. All of those dark nights I got then, breaking my back to make it out, got me feeling like rain. I ain't never need your help, I know you wishing me well. A penny for your thoughts, but seeing no change. I snap for the sun like Diddy. The riches got a mad ass son, I'm like Billy. I ain't never switch up, whole team with me. Putting on for my city like OAGZ. Set the pace as long as you finish. Consumers find a way inside your business. Babylon, they try to dabble in it and they hate the fact that they may have to witness. You tryna aim for the top like this, and you're in your element with a fire like this, and they hoping you fall and they praying you miss, but it's all in the risk. I got you with the switch, you know. I'm in the zone.
Clearly an expert. The company that I work for, it's like a family company, so they're pretty good in terms of like when I got the job, I just said like, look, I need to work these hours. If I need to leave early, they're really good with that. It's pretty flexible, so I'm lucky there. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just, I'm so like OCD. I just have a routine. Like I said, I go to work, go to the gym, go home. I meal prep everything. That's a major help because I don't have that extra time during the day to sort out dinners and stuff like that. So I make all that on like a Sunday, and then I don't have to spend that time in the evening. I was at like Good Life just doing like boring commercial weight stuff, and I knew Shreya from like vaguely knew her from school, and then we sort of started chatting at that gym, and then she left, and one day I was like, oh, like are you not training at the gym anymore? And she's like, oh no, I moved to this boxing gym, you should come down and give it a go. And I was like, oh okay, like I've always wanted, like before I'd always wanted to do like some sort of martial art, but I didn't really know where to start or like where to go, because I know there's a few other places around here, but nothing sort of like grabbed my attention enough to actually do it. So yeah, she was like, oh, come down and check it out. So I came down, I signed a new starter agreement. 2 days later, we went into that massive lockdown. So I never like actually got to start. So went into lockdown, and then obviously that new starter got like pushed to when we reopened. I don't know, I just like never really committed to, like I've never been a sporty person. I was kind of like, oh, like I don't know, COVID, I don't really have the money. All that like bullshit basically, sorry, am I allowed to swear? Yeah, all that bullshit, just like excuses. So yeah, it was actually a massive blessing that I got locked into it, because I'm so glad I did. It's like the best thing. And everyone was so nice. Like I made so many friends instantaneously. Like Tom Gilmore is my first friend here. We're still close. So that's cute, our little like come up story together. And yeah, all the coaches are awesome. It's just like such a good environment. I feel like I'm in what's that? Vogue 71 Questions? Or like AD Open Home. Hey AD. I'm obsessed with them. Have you watched them? Have you watched them? Architectural Digest, like home tours. Yes, I love Grand Design. So good. They go into like there's one that's on YouTube, like literally every single celebrity's home, and they show you everything. It's just amazing. Brian's been making me do like 8-second sprints, 20-second relax, 8-second sprints for 10 minutes. Heinous. Do not recommend. A lot of the time for most people, no matter what stage you're at, you're never gonna feel ready for like the next thing. Like I feel pretty ready now, but there's still a little bit of me that's like, oh, I'm not ready. And you need that person behind you to sort of like push you over the line and just give you a bit of like positive encouragement. But I think most of it comes from yourself and putting in the effort and recognizing what you've actually done to deserve to be where you are. There's still that little bit of like little part of me that's I guess nervous, but that's to be expected anyway. But I think like deep down I know that I've worked hard to be here and I deserve it. He's an amazing coach, like really, really amazing. I love like the technical stuff. He's really good at explaining things, and like he pushes me like on pad work as well. He always pushes me to my limit, which I appreciate. Maybe not at the time, but like afterwards I definitely appreciate. Yeah, he's a really amazing coach, and you can like, he'll answer any questions you have. I think he's approachable. Yeah, doesn't work too well when he like yells at me and then I start crying, but that's fine. Technique-wise, my defense has gotten like tenfold better. It's terrible before. And just working through that, like giving me really specific drills to practice when I'm sparring and in pad work. Also like wailing on me a little bit helps because you're like, and then in terms of like general stuff, I guess having that like that doubt, having him there to reassure me all the time that actually I have done enough and I'm getting better, because you can't see yourself getting better sometimes. So I feel like you do need that person behind you to just like reinforce, I guess is the best word. Reinforce what you already know deep down. Yeah, so when you have to explain things down to like tiny details, like which angle to point your toes when you're doing a certain kick to someone else, it really makes you realize if you're doing it yourself in your sparring. And I think a lot of the time with like beginners and people who first come in, they want to do everything all at once, and you just want to be amazing straight away, which obviously doesn't happen, which I'm well aware of. So I think like being in a position where I'm the one breaking things down to other people has helped me like break down things to myself and come to terms with focusing on like specific basic things that are going to help me get better, if that makes sense, instead of just trying to do everything. Like even Whitney's always like, you're like a mini version of Brian when you spar. My main sparring partner the past couple of weeks has been James Sims, because we're the same weight and the same height. So it's obviously, and there's no girls in green singlet at Myrie anymore. So obviously the girls in blue are amazing and I train with them all the time, but when I want that real like hard toe-to-toe sparring, it's been with James Sims, which has been awesome. Like he's an amazing sparring partner and he's so technical. Like I've gotten so much better just from training with him, but it is a bit like disencouraging. Like last night I was the only girl and it was just all boys. You know, like those doctors hate.
I'm Brian. I coach Micheala and we're going to Australian Muay Thai Nationals in Queensland. I believe she's done some swimming, but outside of that, I think this is the first sport that she's ever done. So yeah, first one she's committed to anyway. To be honest, I think it's the self-growth. What you get out of it on a daily thing, what you learn about yourself along the way. Her self-growth, her belief in herself and the way she holds herself has dramatically changed. No, any conversation sort of at that first, as she's climbing the ranks was no, oh, if you think I'm ready, and all that sort of self-doubt talk. And then, I don't know, the penny dropped and she started to realise that she's actually good. And then we had a conversation that I believe that this is what you should do, and there's a bit of trust there, and we just started making plans and setting goals and achieving them along the way, and now we're here. Yeah, good. She's really hardworking, so always in, always training, trains the house down, very coachable. If she doesn't get it, I mean, obviously she holds herself to a very high standard and is a perfectionist in that way. So she trains and trains and trains until she gets it right. I think the pathway that we use for our fighters is probably one of those big things. So it's baby steps. We don't throw anyone in the deep end. What we do is it's a systematic approach that we put them in, dip their toes in, challenge them, growth, dip their toes in a little bit more, and challenge that through in-house sparring events, outside sparring events, into clubs. And then when we know they're ready, they know they're ready, and then they take that step into a fight. Unfortunately, females in this sport is at a scarcity at the moment. It's worse than normal. And it's one of those things that at her particular weight and experience, it's just very hard to get a match. We've been trying since February to get a match, and it'll be October. Trust and communication. There's a lot of trust between us, and the communication is that we are trying, but unfortunately it's out of our hands if we can't get a match. So what we do is we try to stay busy, we set goals, we're doing inter-clubs, we're getting sparring partners, go and train at one of the brother-sister clubs, stuff like that, bring people in, challenge her in other ways that she's still ticking boxes in goal setting, because everyone has to win at something or be driving towards something, and if that's not there, that's when you will lose focus. If anything, it's probably been better for the reality is that now when someone starts coaching, you understand the frustrations and the challenges of coaching, and the direction and how to move people. I think people become more receptive to a coach when they're trying to teach someone in anything really. It's a huge step. Like, if I'm perfectly honest, it's a huge step. So we wouldn't normally send someone for their first fight to nationals where she can have 3-4 fights in 2 days against people that are far more experienced. But unfortunately, we can't get a match. So this is that step. I believe she's ready. She's definitely training hard enough. Her skill set is far above her fight level. And yeah, we had the chat. We've had the training, we've done the training, all the prep work, and we can't be any more ready for it. And I know she's going to do well, so that's the main thing. Yeah, definitely. So it's definitely benefit because it's just more time sharpening tools. And we've been lucky enough to have those nervy moments, those testing moments where we're like, okay, I'm really nervous and I might get beat here in the sparring or some hard sparring, some people that have had, 14 fights and plus. So doing that hard sparring and really having some lessons learned along the way has been her testing material that she's been able to do to prep for this. So it's better. I mean, obviously we like to rack up experience one way or the other. We've been lucky enough that we have that at our disposal, and it's just going to get her more ready for the real thing. She's very, very competitive and very stubborn. So, and she's coachable, don't get me wrong, but she's stubborn in the regard that if you get one, she's getting it back. So I expect big, hard kicks and lock up and knee, and she's got hard knees. So I'm pretty excited to see what she can deliver. Believe in yourself. You've done the hard work, you've got the skills. Worst case, lock on a knee. You know you can. like obviously one like putting everything together. So kick fighters are usually kick fighters, clinch fighters usually knee, elbow a lot. It doesn't always cross over. Probably just adding hands into that, using our boxing, like really working on our boxing stuff to work into her strength, which is kicking and clinching. Keeping momentum and keeping motivation up when this has all been very fast. So up before we've decided to take this and go to nationals, just trying, and it's pretty hard to stay motivated when you get a match, it falls through, you get a match, you nominate for a show, there's no one on the show. For me especially, but for Micheala to actually stay motivated and keep training as hard as she does and hard as she has to, 5-6 days a week, that's probably the biggest challenge. Just go in and fight as hard as you can and do yourself proud. My tip would be, remember that you never look as bad as you think, and you're doing a lot better than you think. I would say it's a bit of both, because it's a knockout, it's a round robin knockout, so if you lose, you're out. So it's like, you want to not take as much damage, be smart. You still want to kind of like get in and out as quick as possible. I think we're just going to come in and stick to the game plan, stick to her strengths. She'll weather any storm that she needs to and go through and fight her fight, not the other person's fight.
Last time I warned y'all, now this time I'm just sending shots. Thought that I was something, yes man, I'm about to show y'all that I'm really not. Me and mine was really on the bottom, now we way up at the tippy top. No bull, unless we talking flipping stocks, don't mess around.
I am tired. I never, I'm so bad at committing to things, or I was, until I joined Champions and I forced myself to commit to it, or however it happened. I feel like I'm achieving things, it's making me actually want to set goals. Whereas before it was kind of like I'm stuck, so I don't want to set a goal because I don't want to not reach it. Which I think a lot of people feel. But now that I'm sort of at this level, I'm like, okay, well, my goal is to have my first fight. Sweet, that's happening. Then I want to rack up the fights, and my ultimate goal now is I want a state title in Muay Thai. So that's like a massive goal that I've never thought about. One day I just like kind of was driving and I was like, stuff it, like that's my goal. That's what I'm going to work towards. I can do it. So yeah, that's the goal now. I've got a little bit to go, but that's fine. Small goals is rack up the fights until then. So hopefully I can get 2, even 3 over there, if not more. That would be awesome. For example, the boys on the weekend, they've just got 1 fight, whereas next week, if I can get 3 fights, that's 3 amateur fights. I come back 3-0, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Like sparring tomorrow, and then Sunday I will usually do like a run, and that's my prep for the weekday. So I'll get myself ready food-wise, mentally-wise, everything. So I'm going to figure out what's going to happen then. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I know I'm going to be super nervous next week. I feel like it might not hit till I'm on the plane, but I just got to like chill, know that like me, you've done the hard work, you've done the hard yards, this is the fun part. And just, I've been waiting so long for it, just enjoy it, because that's, at the end of the day, that's all it comes down to. And win. Sweet. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks.